This is Saturday, the 20th of May, 2023. And I'm standing on the borderline between me and Sundance Golf Course. My property and Sundance Golf Course. As far as I'm concerned, this property line is like a borderline, okay? The golf course and its business is on one side of the border, and my property and my civil rights and my quality of life is on the other side of the border. Now I'm going to sweep the camera around, tell you where I am, what I deal with day in and day out. As far as risk, the risk I have to deal with day in and day out, risk to my property, my home, the constant threat of trespass, the constant threat of golf balls flying into my yard. First, I'll do a sweep of my property line and the golf course. Hopefully you can hear me. It's working. What you're looking at right now, where that green box is, that's the silver tees for the Sundance today, Saturday the 20th. My definition of what we're looking at is the immunity the golf course management has to passively be aggressive to me, the membership. This is, to me, passive aggression. That tee box all week long was, I'll zoom in, it moves up here. They've added up here behind that railing or in the middle and over away from the cart path. But when they do that, it decreases the risk of me getting hit. Right now, where that tee box is if somebody paid you to see how many balls you could put in my yard today, where would you put the tee box? If somebody came in and said, for every ball that goes into his yard today, I'm gonna give you $500. Where would you put the tee box? Pretty close to where it is right now. You have a choice to move it around. What's gonna happen today is Saturday is amateur day. Saturday is people once a week golfers. Saturdays are in the afternoon and Sunday in the afternoon. The place is a lot of beginners and new people. And why I'm saying passive aggressive is because the clubhouse knows that day in and day out with that tee box where it is, it increases, it maximizes the risk of me getting a ball in my yard. You took it back about, what, 10 or 15 yards, and you took it about 10 yards to the right, which brings me more into a corridor of risk. And you're managing my risk with that tee box day in and day out. And when you put it back there and you have a day where you have nothing but amateurs, beginners, true amateurs and beginners, I'm it. I'm walking point. Now I'll pan and show you where I am, and I'll try to back off. Remember to back off. Yay, I remembered. Okay, Uh, Here we are. That tee box right now is about maybe 45, 50 yards from me, and I'm just offline. And the ladies' tee box is there. Today they have the gold tee boxes. That where the gold tee boxes today are, that used to be the length of the hole. And then about 3 or 4 years after I invested out here, maybe 2 years, one morning they brought in a bunch of dirt and a bulldozer or a land mover, and in one morning and truckloads of dirt, they built that aircraft carrier out there and lengthened the hole about 20, 25 yards. Okay? And they elevated it. What that means when they elevated it is they gave who's ever hitting from back there more length. But here we are. I'm on my corner. I built this little perch because this corner right here, if I can keep the light right, that corner probably has been, as far as incursions of humans and golf balls, overrun maybe 5,000 or 6,000 times in the last 20 years. It's, if you can see that white stake, everything past that white stake, it's golf course. Okay? I'm out of bounds. See the other white stake down there at the end of this line? This is all golf course. They got more golf course up here in the bailout area than they got golf course down there. And what that tells every golfer, especially this guy here, is who's going up on that long tee, it's like I can hit it all the way up to that guy's yard. I'm safe all the way to this guy's yard. So hit away. Kaboom. All right. Well, this is my property line. All right. I planted these dwarf myrtles, and they're finally starting to mature. And the higher they get, the better, because the higher they get, if somebody stays on the cart path. And another thing about this golf course, by putting these stakes here, you're giving everybody permission to walk right up to your property line. This is for people who buy on golf courses. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm handcuffed today by that tee box. I'm walking point here, if anybody understands. Now this guy up here, when they first opened and I bought here, that tee box wasn't there. The longest shot they had was more or less at the front of that long tee box, and a lot lower in elevation. But when they put that tee box, and then you get back there 177 yards, at 177 yards going into a 20 or 30 knot wind coming out of the southwest on a cold day, a dry day, the guy's, if he's got any kind of movement on the ball, if he hits a leak or any kind of a fade, that ball gets turned right into my yard. Okay, now I'm going to sort of will walk down the property line, but all the way, okay, that dirt spot right here where it's empty with rock, right there, and where the swing is, and where the lighthouse is, and my back patio, I was the person that bought this house, and that house within about 90 days. Within about 90 days, I had a contract for that house, and that house. This house closed a month and a half before those houses. I put the solar on the houses. Uh, this is my back patio. Uh, it's all disheveled right now. I understand. I have a lot of projects going. Uh, I've had to do a lot of work to the grading of this property. Now, to show you where I was just standing, right here. I sit in my Adirondack chair. This is the other side of the house. There's only about 10 feet between those two patios. Between the walls, the two main walls of the house, you're looking at a bump out there. But after that bump out, there's only like 10 feet between the two patios, or the two houses. And this is high density, close living. These are my California, my Italian cypress. I say California because they're all over California. But this is my yard, the cactus is the property line. That's my solar. It must have rained the other night or something because that solar looks really clean. Maybe it got a little bit of rain on it. But this is my, another thing. That's a weather vane that I put together. I like to build things in the garage. And I made that weather vane. The wind right now is calm, so nothing's moving. You can hardly feel a breeze right now. But to sit back down in my chair, okay, day in, day out, for 20 years, this property has been burdened with being walking point for every mediocre shot, every foul ball that's hit from that tee box. That's an iconic tee box where that green. So far, all morning long, everybody's been playing the gold tees. They stopped there, and that's the weekend crowd. The weekend crowd are, I think, a little younger. They're like young professionals. I don't know what our generation you want to call them. But they're that generation that's 35 to 55, maybe 30 to 55. And they've all got careers. They're here on the weekends. They only play the men's tees and gold. I was one of those. Nobody's more guilty and nobody has more intimate knowledge of the human factors that go into the game of golf for men filled with adrenaline, testosterone, whatever you want to call it, aplomb, confidence, but I only broke 90 in my life twice, okay? I shot an 81 once and an 83. Not here though, it was on a course in California. And but I counted every shot and I never moved up. I always played the men's tees. I'm a middle-aged man. I've got clubs, you know, that I should be able to play. If I'm a man, I should be able to play the man's tees and score well. Well, at first you start fudging your score. You don't count this one, you don't count that one. But after a while, when you start falling in love with the game, it does. What good does it do to lie on your scorecard? If you blew a putt, short putt, or you skidded a shot close to the green, or your first shot off the tee, you hit one in the driving range, and you didn't count it, a mulligan. I never did that. I counted every shot. The last 10 or 15 years I played, I prided myself on turning in an honest scorecard. Uh, and if that meant a 95, a 96, a 98, because I was not seeing the ball that day or whatever, getting wild, I scored it that way. And usually I could play bogey golf, but I always played the men's tees. I was wasting my time back there. I think if I were to start playing again, I haven't touched a golf club, or I haven't paid a greens fee, let's put it this way. I haven't paid a greens fee in about 4 or 5 years. And if I were to start again, I think I'd start at the ladies' tee. For once in my life, I'd like to shoot par. You know, if that means playing every day from the ladies' tees until I learn how to shoot par, I got no business going back to the silver, the senior, or even thinking about the men's tees. This is all small ball here. You know, you don't take a designated hitter that all he knows how to do is hit the ball into stands and give him a glove and put him in the infield, right? He has no clue. Well, you got to learn that infield game. You got to learn how to play small ball from the ladies' tee until you learn how to pitch, chip, putt, that kind of strategy around the green. You have no business being back there hitting the ball long. No business. A little advice for anybody that's starting out right now. Don't let anybody talk you in to going back to the men's tees right off the bat. He won't let you go to the driving range because he brought you out here to embarrass you. He's going to take you to the tees he plays and show off all day while he embarrasses you and laughs at you trying to hit the ball. Meanwhile, you're getting this hit mentality. You're not getting a score mentality. You're all day long you're being challenged with the long ball. I have to hit the long ball first, and you might have to hit 2 or 3 long balls to even get yourself in a position to play around the green, okay? Why do that to yourself? I think if I was to start with a person right now, we would both start at the ladies' tee, or even the executive tees, and learn how to score. All right, learn how to hit the ball at a slow pace. You're out there putting these people on a distance game right from the start. The guy's got his adrenaline, he's got his blood up and everything else. He's swinging for the fence, has no clue what he's doing. All he's doing is entertaining you. Watching this guy struggle, right? From 177 yards away. And just my philosophy on the game, but this is passive aggressive. Anybody that's a pro should understand the human factors that a lot of people have too much ego to move up. They don't have a clue in their game, a clue about their game. They don't have the game in their bag to be playing from back there. Not in this glass slipper that's called the Sundance active adult community. All right, everybody that is a member of the active adult community that lives on the boundary, the borderline to the golf course, this concession, this golf concession that has a cash register, it's a business, and I'm being burdened with day in and day out is people walking onto my property, balls landing in my yard. And to have the clubhouse say it's an accident, it isn't. This is passive aggressive. You know, all we have to do is day in and day out put amateurs, people who are playing games that are way over their head. All we have to do is day in and day out, put them on that tee box. We've got it moved back as far to the right and as far back as we can, because we're trying to maximize how many balls we can harass this member with up there. And we're going to make the golf course easy for the players, okay? The players have to know that they're safe until they put a ball in my yard. Well, this little mound that I've been standing on that I took the video from, the reason it's here is a defense mechanism. I've complained to the golf course management. I've complained to the HOA. I've sent out videos to people. Videos are being watched because some of them like them. I'm getting a thumbs up. Somebody actually watches the video and gives me a thumbs up. But this is what I'm dealing with here. I have to deal with day in and day out. And another thing is broken solar panels and broken windows. I've had both. Okay? Dents in the house. And the thing of it is like, this is like, almost like the NRA. It's almost like dealing with the NRA. The NRA keeps putting these guns on the street, but when the guns kill somebody, it's not their problem. It wasn't the gun. It was an accident, or whatever they call it. Well, that's what I'm getting here. Every time somebody hits a foul ball from any one of these tee boxes, and I'm in downrange and in range of all three of those tee boxes, I have seen it. I've sit here before and witnessed from all three of the tee boxes, the silver, the gold, and the black. I've witnessed balls hit my house from those tee boxes or land in my yard, right? You're watching a football game and bang, you hear the ball hit the house. You go out and you got a guy standing out in the far tee out there, him and his buddies, and they're looking over here and pointing over here, right? You know they just hit my house from over there. Why? Because they don't know what they're doing. They're playing way over their head. And then the most discouraging thing is to watch a group play from there and they all hit 2 or 3 balls. They're not comfortable. It isn't like you just get up, hit the ball like it's a natural thing, like falling off a log. These guys sweat over that ball for 10 minutes, staring at it, right? The ball starts jumping around on them. And then they take this spastic swing, and you don't know where the ball is going. When that happens and they finally get down to around the green, they got no small ball game. They can't chip. They can't pitch. They don't know how to putt, right? That putter might as well be a sledgehammer in their hand, okay? And they're playing the men's tees. All they're doing is slowing play. Some of the rounds, I've played some of the slowest rounds of my life here at Sundance. Why? Because there's no marshalling. People are allowed to play as many balls as they want. I mean, pace of play, who cares? Right? Who cares? We don't get that enough. We don't get enough business to worry about pace of play out here. Okay? Till you get stuck behind somebody where they're all hitting 2 or 3 balls off the tee, and then they get around the green, and when they finally get a putt to hit, they treat it like it's the U.S. Open. Okay? Pace of play. You wouldn't believe what I've seen here. But that's my little spiel. Like I said, passive-aggressive patio golf. We've got the law on our side, okay? Any ball that goes into your yard, we don't have a problem with. It doesn't cost us a dime, and it's not going to cost our golfers anything because you assume the burden of living on a golf course. And basically is you give up your civil rights to safety of your property, your guest, and be ready to be trespassed on at any time. Any time that the golf course is open for business and open for play, you can have your property trespassed on. Incursions. Why don't you take all this and move it to the other side of that little harbor right there and take me out of play? You won't because you're being passive aggressive. We've got that corner taken care of. Sooner or later, he's going to have enough. Well, the reason I built this mound here for everybody on the board, the town, any legal person, this to me is a legal document, what I'm producing right now. It's my little deposition. I hope these type of legal documents will be admitted in court someday. Okay? Day in and day out, people walk up and down this property line all the way to the green. I've had guys drive their golf carts right down this line of plants, real slow, looking in my yard the whole time. They're not looking on the golf course for their ball. They're going down here along this property line with their golf cart, looking for balls in my yard. Either that or they've got a camera and they're photographing my patio. I don't know what it is, but that's what you deal with when you buy a house on a golf course that is supported by the HOA. You have an HOA here that really, I don't know how many people on the HOA board have played as much golf as I have, but nobody knows more about the human factors in golf than me. I played off and on for 50 years and got really intense with it. Fell in love with the game. And I'm a loner, so I never got to play in a league. Or every time I went out to play, I played as a single and I got matched up with whoever. I was in that brotherhood of golfer that you didn't know who you were going to play with every time you walked into the pro shop. Walk in, put me on the singles list. When you get a group together, send me out. You never knew who or what you were going to be playing with. I played with some of the best golfers and I played with some of the worst. And on a variety of a lot of different courses. I've played a lot of different courses. Now, what I'm saying is right now is this player is probably a weekend player. Okay, the weekend group, they don't have their own golf cart. They got a fleet golf cart from the clubhouse. So these are visitors. And which way is the wind blowing? Oh, the wind right there, even though the things aren't moving, the wind is coming out of the south. So he's got a crosswind that's blowing from the lake right there up to me. Now, you have to, I'm kind of damaged goods as I watch this because I'm so sensitized to what the accidents and the risk of where I am. Because I've seen day in and day out mistakes made off that tee. And the clubhouse knows. The clubhouse knows. The pros knows. The pro, if you're a true pro, you're supposed to understand the demographic of your market. Your market are the people that support your cash register. You know that at least 10% of them are playing over their head. They should be chaperoned out here because of where you are. If you're going to treat my property as out of bounds, please be careful where you put the tee boxes. This is assault. It's reckless endangerment. Like any reasonable person, anybody that was ever a golf pro or ever played a lot of golf with amateurs, which I did, that's one thing. Whenever I showed up as a single, I showed up with people sometimes that were taking their sons or their kids out for the first time. Here's a guy that's been playing a week and now he's got his son out playing with him, and we're slowed up. Plus I used to play courses that got oversold. I played a course in San Ramon, Royal Vista, I think, in San Ramon, California, that they would oversell that course. They were sending out groups every 5 minutes. All the par fives were stacked with people. All you had to do was have one group clogging things up. And when you got to the 9th tee box, classic, okay? Number 8 was this long par 5. You could get as many as 4 or 5 groups on that par 5, okay? Because they were stacked up. And when you got done playing that par 5, and it took forever because people struggled with the length of it, and when they finally got to the green, it was well bunkered, so there was bunkers all around it. And so if they didn't have a short game, didn't know how to play bunkers, that was another delay, held up everybody. Well, when you got to that 9th tee box, which was another bottleneck, there could be as many as 5 or 6 groups just waiting to tee off. It looked like a pro event, you know, because they oversold the course. They just let too many people on it for the cash register. And it caused a lot of frustration. Fights broke out, things like that. But this is what I'm dealing with. And for somebody on the board or somebody that's been in the golf community for 50 or 60 years, I don't understand this. When I first bought here, it was about 19 years ago. 2005 is when I moved in. I bought in 2003 and 4. 2003 and 4 is when I did all the paperwork. 2005 is when I moved here. Okay, so when I first bought here and first moved here, golf was at the peak. It was peaking. It was filled with Korean War veterans, people who missed the Korean War and the Vietnam War, and Vietnam veterans and baby boomers. And this was a different crowd. This was like, it looked like a bunch of McCain Republicans. They were all well-dressed, well-groomed, and on a Saturday morning, back then in 2005, 2004, 2005, 2006, and 7, this place was selling a lot of greens fees, because it was people like me that still had jobs. We were making good money. It didn't cost that much to play here, and it got a lot of play. Okay, and now it isn't as well groomed as it was, right? I see people with denim, t-shirts, gym clothes. Uh, you see people out here that look like you never swung a club in your life, and years ago it wasn't. It was a little more. It was like the Republican Party. To me, is like what happened to the McCain Republicans. Well, the McCain Republicans and that type of golf that I describe are gone forever. Now it's marauders, gangbangers, right? This has become a golf ghetto. They bring in people and this passive aggressive where they go, as long as we got the tee box there with the crowd we're running through here, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. He's going to have balls in his yard. All right, we're going to break windows. We're going to harass him. We could move it over there across the thing, take everybody up here on this line out of play, but why would we do that? Why would we do that when this passive-aggressive protocol that we're having here, this policy, this program, this synergy that's taken place, we put the tee box there, he gets hit all day long, and we declare it an accident. Accident my butt. These are foul balls hit by morons that are, nobody told them to learn how to play the game from the ladies' tee before they move back. Until you can turn in a scratch card from the ladies' tee, you got no business moving back. Because you don't know how to play the game. All you know how to do is hit it long. And when these guys go to the range and practice, do they practice hitting pitch shots, chip shots, 50-yard shots? Do they pick a flag out there 50 yards away and try to hit it every time? Try to hit the flag? No. What do? They take their $350 driver that they bought at some golf retailer, and they hit that all day. That's all they do is hit this driver. They're a designated hitter. Okay? Now, I may later on set up my camera and let's just put my camera on the tee box for the rest of the day. And I guarantee you by the rest of the day, before the day is over, you're going to see people, some of the weirdest golf swings you've ever seen in your life. All right? And multiple shots. Bada bing, bada boom. Put the first one in the lake. Here we go. We'll just tee one up. Take another swing, whatever happens, who knows. Bang. Okay. Now, does anybody get it? Any golfers out there that's been playing golf for 50 or 60 years like me and been around amateur golf? Like I said, the most of the time I played in California and anywhere, I had to show up as a single. And I spent more time at the range than I did playing golf. In my spare time, I was always at the range hitting balls. And most of the time, on any club, there he's hitting a second ball. See what happens? It's just, I'm at risk with every ball that's teed up there. There's a potential, a logarithm, algorithm that of risk that every ball is teed up. There's an algorithm that says, yeah, there's a chance he could get hit up there because of the proximity of the tee box. All right? I live with this day in and day out, and when the damage happens, or an incursion, or there's trespass, I got to eat it. I got to eat it when a solar panel gets broken. I got to eat it when a window gets broken. And this is from a business, an independent business that should have insurance for this. But they understand we have a glass slipper here. We Field of Dreams, we'll build the course first. And then when we get the course, we sell all the lots. Then we're going to stretch the course. We're going to make it even more narrower. We're going to make it longer. All right? When you stretch that hole back there to 177 yards and then you elevated it about 4 or 5 feet higher, all you did was booby trap my house. You booby trapped my house. I'm on the right field pole down here, and there's balls coming. The right field pole is out there where those guys are standing. That's the pole, the foul pole. And anything that gets flown to the left of where them guys are standing, I got to deal with, right? Because he hit a foul ball from back there. And why did he hit a foul ball? Because it was a cold, cold, cold afternoon, and the wind in February when it was so dry, and the wind was coming right from that hotel over there. That hotel behind the tree, that big block, big brick that's over there, coming right from there, probably at about 20, coming so fast that that little spinner right there that I got pointed to, that spinner that like is just spinning wicked, and the arrow's pointing right at that hotel, and you got a guy back there that is hitting high fades all day. He's crushing the ball, but he's putting a tail on it all day. Right? And he gets back there to 170, and you elevate him to give him a little more, range, so he'll have more distance. And then he missed the foul pole, right? And guess who paid for it? Who has to eat it? All right? This is for all people that are going to buy a house on, and this is for sale. What I just described for you and showed you, come make an offer. All right? If you want to sit here and be walked over, bring a couple of lawyers. So make sure you bring 2 or 3 lawyers, and you have them on retainer, and you have about $500,000 in the bank to feed them, to bring this case against the town of Buckeye, the golf course, and the HOA. All right? This is passive aggressive. I'm trying to get it out there to the general public. If you buy a house on a golf course in Arizona and it's run by a bunch of clowns like we have here, who are going to rely on this, it was an accident. It was an accident. Wait a minute. You had a real busy weekend. In that busy weekend, the house got hit 4 times, and in the front yard I found 3 golf balls, and in the backyard 5. Okay? That was over the weekend. Now, you're going to tell me that's an accident? Are you going to tell me that's an accident? There you go, honey. There you go, honey. When she saw the camera, she did a double take. She looked back on it. She said, oh, he's got me on camera. But I'll try to let you know, this is such a contrast from 17 or 18 years ago. 17 or 18 years ago, you would have had 50 or at least 20 groups, 25, 30 groups go by then. You would have had so many groups go by, and it would have been steady, one right after another. You'd have had people waiting on this tee box all day to hit. But that golf business that was established 20 years ago, to me, is dying. Just like the old Republican Party, just like McCain Republicans. They're gone, all right? Now the industry has to be has to be supported by people that come here in t-shirts, denim, whatever they want to wear, play whatever, any style of golf they want to play, hit as many balls as they want. Okay, before my battery runs out, I'm going to stop here. But this, like I said, Saturday morning, the 20th of May, 2023. Nailed to the cross again. In the stockade. Walking point. Whatever you want to call it. You know, here I am. Dial up the risk for that guy. See how many balls we can put in his yard today. All right? Thank you for listening. Beware anybody that buys on a golf course with an HOA.